It's the middle of July and this extreme heat is brutal here in West Texas, and probably where you are too. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can protect your plants from the extreme heat and show you some examples of the heat damage that the sun is doing in my garden. So I'm shooting this video at around 8 o'clock in the evening and it's still about 100 degrees here. But between 1990 and 2019, the borderland averaged about 26 days of 100-degree heat. And then from 2020 to 2022, El Paso averages 37 triple-digit temperatures each year. In your area, you may be struggling with these hot temperatures too, and it's very stressful on your plants. So it's very important that you protect your plants in order for them to survive and even thrive in this hot weather. So how do you protect your plants from these extreme conditions? Well, I have a few tips that I want to share with you so that you can minimize the impact of these heat stresses on your plants. When a heat wave hits, plants will show you. Most plants grow best in temperatures between 59 and 86 degrees Fahrenheit, but when temperatures are above 90 degrees Fahrenheit for sustained periods of time, plant growth is slowed and some plants even begin to show signs of stress. Anything above 140 degrees Fahrenheit, many plants will survive, but they show different signs of heat stress. The extreme air and soil temperatures slow down chemical activity and growth in the plants. Tomato plants, for example, will roll their leaves in response to heat. Wilting occurs when low moisture in the water creates a lack of water pressure within the plant. Plants that wilt during the hottest part of the day, though, and recover in the early evening and early morning are likely suffering from just heat stress. Watering. While recommendations regarding the ideal timing of the watering vary, deep watering is the preferred method over shallow watering. Morning watering is often prescribed in times of high heat, but wilted plants should be watered as soon as a reasonable time that you can do that so that they don't stay so stressed. Number 2 is mulching. Mulching conserves moisture in the soil by slowing evaporation and minimizing temperature fluctuation in the soil. Shallowly rooted young plants will be most impacted when the top few inches of the soil are hot and dry. So that's why it's important to keep your plants mulched and the soil cool. The next tip is to provide shade. It's important to provide some type of afternoon shade. Most container plants, you can take them out of direct sun and put them in an area of shade. But in your garden, you want to provide a shade cloth or some other means of shade where possible. You can use other shade devices such as like a picnic or beach umbrella or some other type of material. I have my shade cloth up and that should protect my plants from this extreme heat. Let me show you how I put it up. So what I'm using in my garden is 40% shade cloth. I'll put a link in the description box below for the exact one that I use, but again, you could use whatever you feel is appropriate for your area. I would recommend nothing lower than 40%. You might go as high as 70 or 80% as far as that blocks out 70 to 80% of the sun's UV rays. So I'm choosing to use 40%, even though the extreme heat is pretty brutal here in zone 8A, and again, I'm sure where you're at too, these temperatures are terrible. But what we're going to use today is this shade cloth. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's very simple, and we're going to I already have my trellis system already up, and so what I'm going to be showing you is how you can do this with an existing trellis system. But again, you can do this however you want. You can make your own hoop system or your own trellis or your own shade area by using some PVC or some poles or however you want to do that. I try to use existing things that I have. So I already have my trellis system up. I purchased some of these large stakes, and those will act as anchors for me. And then I'm going to anchor this shade cloth on the bottom with some stakes and some rocks, and that's essentially what we're going to do. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that it's in the area that is covered 100% by the sun And my afternoon sun, the way the house is and the way the garden is, my afternoon sun hits right in here. And I show you a couple of the examples of some of the damage that's done to my tomato plants and some of these other plants. So we're just going to cover this area. When you do cover your garden, I do have two recommendations. The first one, of course, is make sure that you do have an opening in your area so that the pollinators can get in. So if you completely cover your garden with the shade cloth, then what will happen is your pollinators won't be able to get into the garden, and then you won't have any fruiting that's going on. So that would be the first thing. And then the second thing is if you're going to take it on and off, which you certainly can do, put it in the afternoon sun, keep it in the morning off, that way the sun gets it, your production of your photosynthesis is the best in the morning hours, and then that way the temperatures are not that extreme either. So you're going to put this on and off, or in my case I'm going to just leave this on because it's 40% and it's going to allow enough of that sun to get through, but not enough that's going to brutally damage my plants. I'd like to know what you use in your garden to help protect your plants from the extreme heat. Let me know in the comments box below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button and hit that bell so that you'll be notified when I put up our next video. If you found some value in this video, hit that like button and share this with your friends. Until next time, stay cool and happy gardening.